When I was a kid, I used to redesign my room every month, and it would drive my parents crazy all the time. I always pushed them to redo things, repaint. So when I moved into this apartment, I don't think I had a specific design idea. The architecture is a backdrop. I wouldn't want to not be able to put in an artwork that I love or change a cushion just because the colors don't work or because it clashes with the architecture. It has to allow for that flexibility, and I think that's what I tend to do in my projects. I'm Luc. I'm an architect. I work and live here in Strasbourg. I've been living in this apartment for 5 years now. I renovated it for 1 year during 2019. My renovation budget here was 35K. I did some of the works myself with the help of friends, and then other things with a builder. I live here with my partner, Valentin, who is a flight attendant. We have very different schedules, and that was an important part of the design from the get-go. I've been living in Strasbourg for 15 years now. It's my home. It's where I have my friends, my community. This is my building. It's a building from 1933. That's my hairdresser right here. I have other friends who live further down the street. My partner's mother lives down the street that way, so it's really our nice little village. I have my apartment on the first floor. It's always a little dark. This is the entrance to the apartment. It has this place where you can just come in and take your shoes off. You can hang your jackets in this place. Here are shelves to just store your everyday shoes. I put a big mirror in to really enlarge the space and make the light just reflect a lot. We have this small raised platform here. The kitchen used to be closer to the bathroom. And since I moved it to the living room, the pipes are hidden under it. And I like to think of it as a bit of my catwalk. I don't use that bike anymore. I bought a new modern one that I store downstairs, but I like the style of this one, so I've kept it here. I have that little shelf to hang the bike on, which is where I put my gloves and my scarf when I use the bike. Here's the electrical box, which I tried to hide the best as I could by putting artworks all around it and just make it work as a bit of an art wall. Some of these photographs are just from someone ringing the doorbell or from a small unknown painter in New Zealand, but I'm really looking for things that I like, and it doesn't really matter if they're worth anything or not. The living room really feels large with all of the windows that bring in a lot of natural light. Here I used these pretty industrial shelving that is really economical and that you can find just in your everyday hardware store. You can change the heights and change the number of shelves that you want. It's more of my stuff. Valentin has lived less on his own. Slowly he's putting in his part as well. Downsizing for me wasn't going minimal. It's really keeping things that have a story and that I have a memory with. I have things from my grandma that I got from her place when she moved out. This is our license plate from the US when we lived there. That's a photograph of my sister when she was really young. I think she's just adorably cute in it. This couch area I designed around the shelves and around that rug here, which is from a Danish brand, Muto. I chose a TV that wasn't too big. I didn't want it to be too much in your face and to take up too much of the volume. I'm glad I have that size and not a bigger one.
Is it a book? Is it a mag? I'm a magazine, all right, but a magazine like no other. Look at me go. I'm designy and architecture-y, with experimental furniture and design ideas for your small home coming out my... and specifically designed, page by page, to make you go, ah, and, oh, that's cool. Hang out with Italian artist Zuzu in her cave of dreams. Get inspired by Barcelona-based punk product designer Kuro Claret. Try not to smile in response to Camille Walala's Technicolor masterpieces. Delight in the shape-shifting, interactive and small space-friendly textile furniture of Luna Havercorn. Meet some bastards from Bangkok. Learn what car crashes have to do with Aldo Rossi's sexy coffee pots and poetic cemeteries. Get your small homes fix with 3 very different pads from Spain, Australia and Japan. And plunge into the playfully nostalgic world of Brazilian duo Two Lost Kids. You've never met a mag like me. Subscribe now to get yours with free worldwide shipping.
The apartment had been renovated in the early 2000s by the owner of the entire building for rental purposes. So it was very bare. At first I was like, oh my god, this is horrendous. But I saw that, yeah, there were no structural partitions and the ceilings were high and the light was great. And I thought, okay, no, I can work with this and I can make something out of this apartment. So on the other side of the sofa and right under this window, I added this work from home desk. If it gets too bright and the curtain isn't enough, I can use the shutters here. This is also useful because I have some neighbors that really love to just stand around their window and look at everything. So sometimes it feels just a bit awkward to see her staring at me. So sometimes I just pull it. That desk I put in the living room is just an afterthought. One thing maybe I would do differently is including a work from home space. I guess I would try and make something better suited for a work from home situation. All of the windows you can see are double glazed, so you can definitely hear the difference when it's open or closed. Here is a little balcony. We have these 2 little chairs from a French furniture brand called Fermob. We also put in these wood partitions here just to bring a bit more intimacy to the place. I've struggled a bit with the plants here, but I'm hoping to get something quite nice this summer. Valentin likes to have a smoke here and we like to have a drink here in the evening. I definitely love a larger terrace, but I mean, this is as good as it can get for now. We have this artwork from Kumi Sugai, which is actually the first artwork that I bought on my own. It's a Franco-Japanese artist. It is called Homme numéro 1, which is man number 1, and you can guess from the shape what it recalls to. The dining room area is centered on that table here, which we've had in the family for the last 30 years now. We've had it in every homes we've had. It's a table from IKEA from the 1990s. It used to be our dining table as a family, and then it got used as a desk and it got several lives. Here is a vase I got from my grandmother as well, and that's a nice bouquet that my partner got for me when we celebrated our 15th anniversary just a couple of weeks ago. I chose this metal shelf. It's called a string shelf. Here I really wanted something that was airy because it's right next to the black unit. It's a glass lamp from a French brand that doesn't exist anymore. It's called Habitat. It was pretty famous. It glows this nice pinky light, which is also really nice in the evening. The kitchen is part of that black unit that you see when you really enter the room. It's a volume that allows to separate the different spaces, the entryway, the bedroom and the living. And I really wanted it to be one color, one material. I didn't want it to stand out too much. And that's why I chose that black, because black is profound. Everything kind of blends in together. I used the same gray terrazzo as the raised platform, just to bring in a bit of contrast and a bit of light to the prepping area. I put this wall sconce here. It's a lamp from a Belgian company called Zangra. It brings a nice dim light. All of the cabinets are from IKEA. Even the fronts and the handles are from IKEA. The sink and the tap is from IKEA. And then I just asked for a carpenter to do some specific finishes, such as the countertop and that frame around the entire kitchen. And it allows it to feel really seamless and really bespoke. The countertop is really easy to clean and maintain, but the fronts here are a bit trickier because it's matte black, so we have to often just smudge. Apart from that, it's pretty easy, and the terrazzo is really easy to maintain. Here is my fridge and freezer. I had it in a dishwasher. trash cans and some utilities, a drawer for my utensils and my cutlery, pots to cook, my blender and other kitchen stuff that I use a bit less often. And then we have a slider here that is just really handy for all of our spices, our salt, our pepper, and our oils. More storage for our everyday plates and bowls. Here is where we store our food. It was hard to find a small enough microwave to put in here. I knew I wanted it here, but I hadn't realized that microwaves were actually quite large and that it was going to be hard finding one that fit. More food storage, but that's more for the mornings. For a small apartment, there's quite a bit of storage. I'm not a big cooker, but it's nice to have that comfort nonetheless. I love to design integrated fixtures, integrated kitchens, integrated wardrobes in my projects, but often that's where the budget lacks a little bit in the end. And so I often refer my clients to my kitchen when I explain them that I, as an architect, have an IKEA kitchen at home, and then we just use a carpenter for finishes and fills bespoke. They're really reassured. The black unit that is at the center of the apartment, so houses the kitchen on the living room side, and on this side it's all wardrobes. You can see the special cupboard here, which I designed for my partner Valentin, who's a flight attendant. And when he comes back home or when he leaves to work, he can change outside of the bedroom and not mess with my sleep, and the other way around as well, with our very different schedules. He can slide the bedroom door shut, he preps in the bathroom, and then he can just open his cupboard. In here he has his luggage and his uniform. The entryway is right here with the big mirror, so it allows him to check that everything is fine before he leaves. We've been dating for 10 years before I bought this apartment, so I knew how it worked. This is our everyday clothes, everyday things that we use. All of this black unit is also made, like the kitchen, with IKEA cabinets and IKEA fronts. So we spent quite an amount of time to figure out how we would do the interior fittings and what we needed. And so we have some hangers for coats or shirts, drawers for socks and underwears and just my belts, stuff like that. Open shelves for everyday t-shirts, pants. Each kind of clothes has its own particular place. The storage above is more long-term, stuff that we really only get out once a year. I had that headboard built in, and we have all of our luggage in here. So our luggage, our rucksacks, we just have to take the things that we have on exposition here out of the way, and then we can take our luggage out and just go on holiday. And it allows us, to put some lamps, some books, some artwork, or this cone that I was gifted by my friends for my 18th birthday. The kitchen of the previous apartment used to be here, using this window, and there was a wall here. So the water heater was naturally in the kitchen, and I could have moved it, but it would have been expensive and I had a tight budget. So I decided to take up the challenge and integrate that water heater into the bedroom. I also made this Mikado shelf by myself. It's a DIY project, and I think it's really nice, it's fun. This bed is from a German editor, Fritz Hansen. The raised bed is really useful because you can store things underneath. So we have some box storage here, which we use to store our linen and shower bath towels and stuff. It's easier for us to have it stored in these boxes and not in cupboards, which we prefer to use for our clothes. The bathroom is tucked behind this door. It doesn't have any natural light or natural ventilation directly to the outside. So that's why I designed this window here, to get some natural light from the bedroom into the bathroom. Even though there's a frosted glass here, when you have guests over or for other reasons, you want extra intimacy. And so we added that blind here, which you can just lower easily, quickly, and then pull up back. I made this vanity and this tabletop work with that nice curve and out of natural wood. It also integrates the washing machine right underneath, and our bag for our dirty clothes that need to get washed. So it's really easy to have everything tucked away. Here I use some leftover tile from the flooring and the walls to build a little tray just for these little items here. It helps have everything up in a tidy place. I also integrated a huge mirror to really maximize the light and the volume. I actually tested buying just a small circular mirror. I was like, okay, no, that doesn't work. I want the big mirror. On this side of the bathroom, we have the hanging toilet. I took the opportunity with the depth of the hanging toilet to put built-in cupboards here, which are very useful to house our Dyson, our ironing board, and all of our household tools and cleaning supplies. That side above the toilet, we have all of our beauty products, perfumes. It's actually a lot of storage in here, which is very useful in this small space. The fact that we have this storage here allowed us to have less storage around the vanity. My partner really likes to take baths. He likes to relax when he comes back home after long trips. And so I chose to keep a bath in here. I use it only, once in a while in winter when I'm sick or like really cold when coming back from work and I need a hot bath, but otherwise I hardly use it. I use it as a shower. You can see the thin metal string that we use for our shower curtain, and that is the flue for all of the plumbing, and so it's easily hiding the shower curtain when we don't need it. In the bathtub area, we have a small shelf here. It allows for nothing to be left around the bathtub, again, to have a nicer experience. I went through many different designs at the beginning, and it was quite a process to choose the design that I built, but I'm really happy with what I did, and I think it works quite well for us. I like that it's easy to maintain and easy to clean. It's also very flexible living. Yeah, I designed the space to feel good and to be able to feel relaxed in.
Sign up to our newsletter for subscriber-only content and exclusive offers. Visit nevertoosmall.com/subscribe.